Let's look at Chapter 6, Lesson 6 extension, From Charts to Vertical Records. Find the missing digits in the problems below. So this is very similar to number 3 on the practice page. Remember, this is also called Think Math, and it's going to make you think outside the box. Follow the directions and you'll be able to complete it. For number 1, they first want you to do 7 times 60. And you should know that that is 42 with a 0 on the end. For the next part of the problem, they want you to do 10 times 60. And you know that this is 10 because the 1 is in the 10 spot. So 10 times 60 is going to be 600. Then you add them up to get your final answer. You're going to do the same thing. You need to think about 3 times what will get you 90. And I know that 3 times 30 gets me 90. Then I need to do 20 times 30 to get the second number. And I know that 20 times 30 is going to equal 600 because 2 times 3 is 6, and then the 20 has a 0 and the 30 also has a 0 that you add on. Then you add it together and you get 690. Let's look at number 3. We need to think about what times 40 would get us 200, or what times 4 equals 20. And I know that 5 times 4 would equal 20 plus the extra 0 on the end. Then I need to think about 30 times 40. And I know that 3 times 4 is 12. And then I know that there's 2 zeros in that problem. Now I can add 0, 0, 4, and 1. 1,400. Let's move on to number 4. The first one that I need to think about is what times 14, or actually this one is written backwards because I have the 4 on the bottom, which would be 4 times what up here would get us 200. So I have a 5, and I know that 4 times 5 is 20, but then I also need a 0. Now I can go back and I can do the 50 plus or times 10, and I know that 50 times 10 is going to be 500. Now I can add this up and get 700. Think Math is a little bit tricky in the aspect that they're putting the tens numbers that end in 0 on the top and on the bottom. So keep that in mind when you're trying to multiply and find out the answers. So again, let's do this. I know that 8 times 7 is going to be 56 plus 1 0. Now I need to think about what times 70 will get me 2,800. And I know that 4 times 7 is 28, and since it's in the 10 spot, this is 40 times 70, which is 2,800 or 2,800. Let's look at number 6. Again, I need to figure out what is missing. This time the number on the bottom is going to have the 0 because 61's already there and it doesn't have a 0. So I need to figure out what times 1 equals 20. And I know that 20 times 1 equals 20. Then I need to go back and I need to do 6 or 60 times 20. And I know that 6 times 2 is 12. And since there's 2 zeros, I have 1,200. I add it up. I have 1,220. Okay, let's look at number 7. I know that my 0 is going to be down here because looking up here I already have an 8 built into my 1 spot. So now I can think about 8 times 90 equals 8 times 9 is 72. plus the 0. Now I need to think about what times 90 will get me 63. And I know that 7 times 9 is 63, and 70, since it's in the 10 spot, times 90 is going to be 6,300. Carry it. 7,020 is your answer. Try to use these strategies. I know, although difficult for Think Math, I think it's a challenge that you can complete for numbers 8 and 9 on your own.